guys, it's Miss Lovell here. Today we're going to be learning about point of view. Now I'm studying to become a marine biologist and I'm concerned about the use of aquariums. Are they harmful or are they helpful for these marine mammals? Let's learn a little more about point of view, and then we're going to talk about two different passages and we're going to see those authors' opinions about aquariums. All right guys, so today we're talking about point of view. You might be asking yourself, point of view, what is it? A point of view is how the author feels about a topic and the author's opinion about that topic. So, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about author's point of view in nonfiction text. Remember, a nonfiction text is something that is real. So, today we're going to be looking at two passages that deal with aquariums. These authors are going to share their feelings and their opinion about the topic of aquariums. So before we get started, there are 5 important things that we need to understand about point of view. Number 1, we have to first identify the topic of the text. Ask yourself, what is the whole text about? 2, we have to identify the author's point of view. How does the author feel about this topic? What is his or her opinions? 3, it's really important for us to underline or highlight any reasons the author gives to support his or her opinion. These can be things such as words that they say, like if they describe something as beautiful, majestic, amazing. From this, we can see that they obviously like the topic that they are talking about. If they use words like disgusting, hateful, they probably don't care so much about this topic and have strong feelings towards that. 4, ask yourself, do I agree with the author's reasons? Why or why not? This is super important whenever we're reading any story. If the author gives us their opinion, it's okay for us to not agree with it. And it's okay for us to agree with what they're saying. And last, number 5, ask yourself, what reasons do I have for my opinion? Whenever you're reading a nonfiction story, you need to see what reasons do you support and what reasons do you not support. Now that we have a better understanding of some things that we need to be looking for and asking ourselves as the reader, let's get started on these two passages. All right, guys, so the first passage that we're going to be reading is titled The Dark Side of Aquariums. So by just reading the title alone, I know that my story is going to be about aquariums, but because it says dark side, it tells me that it's going to be about the negative aspects of aquariums. So with that in mind, let's read our story and see what it has to say. Seeing graceful dolphins and enormous whales up close in an aquarium is amazing. Most people are fascinated by these amazing creatures. What is the price paid for these majestic sea mammals to entertain us? Dolphins and whales that live in aquariums are forced into small habitats. This is unnatural. In nature, dolphins and whales live in the wide open oceans. They swim long distances every day. In aquariums, they do not have the space to move freely. This can cause whales and dolphins to become frustrated and upset. They spend their days in small tanks, being forced to perform tricks. Dolphins and whales that live in aquariums have been kidnapped. They were taken from their natural habitats to be put into aquariums. These mammals were separated from their families. This is heartbreaking because dolphins and whales are known to form strong bonds with their families. Dolphins and whales are very advanced. Their brains are almost as large as human brains. Some people believe that their brains are even more complex than human brains. These animals have personalities and can feel emotions. We should respect these marine mammals and keep them in their natural environment. Wow. So I learned a lot about aquariums through this passage. In each paragraph, the author points out different negative aspects of whales and dolphins living in aquariums. In the first paragraph, the author points out what is the price that is paid for these majestic sea animals to entertain us. So that's opening the question to the reader. What are these animals giving up in order to entertain us? It goes on to say that the aquariums are small habitats, and that is unnatural for these animals. This is telling me that the aquariums being too small doesn't allow the whales and the dolphins to roam around the ocean freely. As a result of this, it makes the whales and the dolphins to become frustrated and upset, which is not good. In the third paragraph, the author goes on to say that we have kidnapped dolphins and whales to live in aquariums. And not only that, that we are separating these mammals from their families. The author ends this passage by saying that we should respect the marine mammals and keep them in their natural environment. So all of these sentences that I highlighted in my passage is the evidence that supports the author's opinion. Now, we might be asking ourselves, what is the author's opinion? Well, from saying that aquariums are unnatural, it makes the whales and dolphins frustrated and upset, that we are kidnapping these mammals and we're separating them from their families, and that we need to respect the animals and keep them in their natural environment. By all of these points that the author is making, the author's opinion is that mammals such as dolphins and whales should not live in aquariums, but rather they should live in the ocean. Now that I've highlighted all this evidence, I'm going to type what the author's opinion is. The author believes that marine mammals should not live in aquariums. Great work, guys. Now that we've read this passage about the negative aspects of aquariums, we're going to read another passage and we're going to see how that author feels about this topic. Our second passage is titled Aquariums, Bringing the Ocean to Humans. So, from this title, I can't really tell how the author feels about aquariums. It's just saying that it's bringing the ocean to humans. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. We don't know yet. So let's get started reading so we can find out. There has been a lot of criticism of aquariums in the media. Many of the claims made are untrue. Aquariums have wonderful benefits. They help marine animals and humans that visit them. Aquariums bring the ocean to people. Most people are unable to observe large marine mammals in their natural habitats. Aquariums make it possible for people to observe and learn about large marine mammals. Educating people about marine animals is extremely important. Visiting an aquarium can connect people to marine animals. This makes people more likely to want to help these beautiful creatures. Also, aquariums have helped scientists conduct research. Studying whales and dolphins in aquariums has taught us about how they live and behave. Whales and other marine mammals living in aquariums enjoy the interactions that they have with humans. Training gives them the physical and mental exercise they need. They have chances to play, learn, and exercise. Aquariums are wonderful places. Aquariums benefit humans that visit and the animals that live in them. Alrighty. So this passage was very different from the first passage that we read. This passage is talking about how great aquariums are and how beneficial they are. In the first paragraph, our author says lots of things about aquariums. It begins by saying that they have lots of criticisms against them, but they're not true. It goes on to say that aquariums have wonderful benefits. This is a piece of evidence that's supporting the author's point. It goes on to say that aquariums make it possible for people to observe them and learn about large marine mammals. In addition to this, the author points out that visiting an aquarium can connect people to marine animals, and it makes them want to help the beautiful creatures. In paragraph 3, it points out that aquariums help scientists conduct research. So through the use of aquariums, scientists are able to learn more about these beautiful creatures. In the next paragraph, the author also points out that the whales and other marine mammals enjoy the interactions with humans and that they're happy and that they get plenty of physical and mental exercise that they need. To close the passage, the author points out that aquariums are wonderful places and that aquariums benefit humans and they also benefit the animals that live in them. Through this passage, I can tell that the author obviously thinks that aquariums are great places for animals to live. They don't see any negative aspect of marine mammals living in aquariums, so it's safe for me to say that the author believes that aquariums are great places and they have wonderful benefits for marine animals. I'm going to type that response over here. The author believes that aquariums are wonderful and marine mammals benefit from them. Great work, guys. Y'all did so great with both of these passages. Now, the work is not yet done. Now that we've talked about both passages and we've talked about how the authors feel about each passage, now it's time for us to think about how we feel about aquariums. Now I want you to ask yourself, what is your opinion? Which passage do you agree with? Do you agree with the author in passage number 1 that aquariums are harmful to these marine mammals and that we're actually separating them from their families and they're not very happy there? Or do you agree with passage number 2 that aquariums are great places and they benefit not only the marine mammals but also us so we can learn more about these great creatures? What are your thoughts on aquariums? Do you think that they're harmful? Do you think that they're beneficial? What reasons do you have for your own opinion? Was there a sentence that either of the authors said that you agree with? Whenever you're reading any nonfiction story, we need to be thinking about not only the author's opinion or the author's point of view on a topic, but how we feel as the reader. I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. I had so much fun doing it with y'all. Wow, I learned a lot about aquariums today, and the way that the authors felt definitely gave me some perspective on how I should feel about aquariums. It was so fun learning with y'all today. I'll see you next time.